I'll bring everybody on, and then I'll unmute you in just a second. I'm just going to practice a little bit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the class. I'm going to unmute you all. Welcome back, everyone. Let's see here. Ha ha ha. So I was just playing a little piece for you all, working on this particular set. Oh yeah, there we go. Share, and that is this thing. It is the David Popper Etudes from the Hochschule for Music for Violoncello. School literally translates to high school, but we call that college. Or they call that. Yeah, we got somebody. Oh, have you played it? Have you played that one? Have you played that one, Dennis Poon's machine?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah, it's a fun one. Yeah, it's a good one. Let's see here. If you've got a little corner of my screen up, I'll show you just a little bit. And then it goes crazy. Up to this B. Well, you played these notes before. Now we're into line 6, and it goes a little fun and wild. He always puts these the really hard parts right here in the middle, and then there'll be like a part that comes back. And they're generally about 2 pages long. There are 40 of these things, and if you learn them all, then you can have a bachelor's degree in music at any number of universities. Yeah, so hey, learn them up, get them going, everything like that. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. So welcome to Cello, everyone. I realized just now that I've got a lamp sticking out of my head as I play. I'm just going to sit right here in the middle so that when the light comes on, you'll see. And I'm going to turn on some light. Get everybody going. Okay. So yesterday, if you remember, we were doing all kinds of sliding around, and I hope you had fun with that. And let's see. The other thing is, let's get tuned. Hear everybody's notes. Go ahead and play if you got them. Never hurts to start out with a nice big sound on your cello. Go ahead and play it. I find just getting the bow to go in a straight line is often the tricky part of the whole thing. Yeah, there we go. And now a C. Great. That way you can just sort of like look at what your arm is doing. Look at what your wrist is doing. Make sure that your hand is going all in the right location. Everything is really loose. Check your elbow. You know, if you're in a multi-screen pattern, or check your shoulder as well. You know, sometimes cellists get a real high elbow like this because they're like, oh, I gotta press down, right? And let's see if we can't make that really loose over here. If you're a little bit tense, sometimes you don't notice it because it's not a big deal. But if you just tense up all your shoulders like this while you play, and then drop them. Yeah, and then suddenly it's like, wait a second, I did have a lot of tension in there. Good, this is great. So, did anybody get the D minor scale like really fast? Did anybody work on it? Did anybody say like, I'm gonna see how fast I can get that thing? Did anybody do it really slow? That's okay, you're on quarantine. It's not like you have to practice. I mean, yes, yeah, spend some time on the instrument. I was thinking something like this. Maybe. Next week we'll start on a different scale, probably a major scale, and I think we'll try kind of a weird one, like one that doesn't have any open strings. How about that one? We'll try that one just for fun. But let's everybody play on that scale, and let me just call up the piece. Let me call up the scale for you. Do 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 do. Boom, 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 boom. Oh wait, do I have another window that is that? There we go. That's much better. And I'm going to expand this thing bigger. And here is D minor. And ready, sharing the screen. Boom. And go. And then we'll today we'll just sort of do a little bit of scale things, and then we'll try just nice vibrato, and then try a little bit of improvisation. And I'll invite people to try out themselves. It'll be really fun. Okay, so here is D scale. Oh, those of you who are looking at the screen, we're gonna start right here. Those of you who have a screenshot, that's fine. And we're gonna be, yeah, so this is me sharing the screen. Ready, and D, and now E, F, G, A, B natural, 2, stretch that B up there, blah, C sharp. Good, D, first finger E, natural, F, so nicely, open A, natural, C sharp, put your thumb in there. E, first finger. Yeah, that's great. G. First finger G. Second finger A. Now let's move the fingers up and move the thumb up onto the fingerboard. Play a B natural. Rest the thumb on the fingerboard while you play it. Just right next to the first finger. C sharp 2. And E3. Good. Now let's take a little rest. Hold your hand up there. Wiggle out your hands, wiggle out your arms, everything like that. Okay, now let's play that D, and we're gonna go back down. Check to make sure that your third finger, or your, your thumb is on the fingerboard, just resting there. Ready, and. Good, everybody. Now, C natural. B flat 1. Good. Thumb, A. Good. G4. F2. E1. Nice work, everybody. D4. Good. C2. B flat 1. Now let's go nice and low for that B flat. It's gonna sound like this. If you sound a little higher, like this, we're gonna slide back into that note. B flat, A natural, open. G4, F2, E1, D open, C4, B flat 2, A1, G open, F4, E3, D1, and that's the lowest D. That's the one that's over here. Yeah, good job. Now, those of you who are relatively new, we have this tenor clef note here. And so what that does is that changes what would be the next note higher, the F that is sitting on top of this, on these two ledger lines. That would be over here, but tenor clef makes this all go down. So that this note right here, which is normally a C, becomes this note over here on this line that is a C now. So with that in mind, what's the name of this note? Those of you tenor cleffers, come on. What's this note? If this is a C and it takes it down 5 steps, then just count up 5 steps and you have this note. What is it? Let's count up together. C. Oh, I'm going to bring back the class for preview. So we have C. Then we go up 1 to 2, second degree D, third degree E, fourth degree F, and then fifth degree G. And so the note that would have been a C here, okay, is now here. Okay, and it's a really handy way to play right in here in the instrument where it just sounds great. Like that's the part that like you hear a lot of solo cello playing play. And we don't have to play with so many ledger lines and so many lines above, which are sometimes hard to count. And so as you can see, let's see, I'm going to bring it back over to this. And the sometimes we use tenor clef, which means that the middle C is right here. Sometimes we use bass clef, in which the middle C is up here on this ledger line. And sometimes we use treble clef where, let's see where that is. They don't have any notes involved, where the C is the ledger line below. Now, how many of you know where the term middle C comes from? You know what middle C means? Anybody? I'll show you in just a sec. Let's see here. This is a little finder thing. And I'm going to go to downloads. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm going to bring up this little score. And I'm going to show you a piano part. And this is like a piece for violin and piano that I'm helping another student learn how to play, actually on the piano part. But here is like a full piano score with violin, and I'll show you this. Okay, here's the share. Now we're looking over here. Middle C is like this note. Okay, or it is this note right here. That's middle C. And then sometimes we'll have it on the bass clef as well. But middle C is the same C that you're used to seeing right here. Okay, so notice how it's one ledger line up from the bass clef. And if we look over here, that same C is one ledger line down from the treble clef. So what it is it's actually not the middle of the piano, but the middle of, it's the middle between treble clef and bass clef. And so that's what we call middle C. It's both equidistant, and it's one ledger line down from treble clef and one ledger line up from bass clef. So now you know. Ring. Okay, next on this set is let's make sure that we can go all the way. This is where we left off yesterday, but we can go from this D and we can go up an octave and just slide up. So everybody grab second finger on your D, and this is second position, and let's slide up. Yep. Now notice my elbow. I'm flying. Yeah, Cole's got it. Ayla's got it. Laura's got it. This is great. And then coming back down, Lucy's got it. It's one of the coolest things we can all do. And most of us can probably sing that too. Try that yourselves. Ready? Everybody sing it. And I heard myself sing, but I didn't hear too many other people sing. Maybe you were all humming really quiet. Okay, so let's try this again. Ready? One octave, and then we'll do two octaves. And. Yeah, come on up. Up higher. Until you hear this note. Yeah, go up all the way. There you go. Now come on back down. Yeah. We spend our lives as cellists just basically trying to like match the pitch that we hear, the pitch that we hear in our head to the pitch that's on the instrument. Okay, ready? Now let's go two octaves. Watch this. Okay, ready, everybody? And that's on the A string, and it's still a D. Yeah. And we're back down. Yeah, that's great. Now, just for fun, let's do this on the C string. And let's do the D on the C string. So first finger on the D. It's our lowest D. Okay, let's go up. Let's slide up one octave to get there. Now already you'll notice that I'm on the C string, my elbow had to come up in order to get to it. Okay, so when I play over here on the A string, kind of have my hand over here, and then as I go over to the C string, my elbow gets me there. Okay, elbow leads on this one. So I'm playing this D, my elbow is sort of up. Okay, now let's go up an octave. Ready, everybody? And. Good. Now back down. And then again. Good. And it's going to gonna be this sound. And then now let's go 2 octaves. Ready, everybody? And good. And it's this high D right up here. It's super high on the D string. Takes up nearly the entire fingerboard. And back down. Yeah, let's try that again. Ready, everybody? And yeah. And now back down. Yeah, that's good. Now, here's a kind of a funny little trick, is that I have all of my college students do this, where they have to do scales, 2 octaves on each string, okay? And so, and this is kind of just a lot of guesswork, but the finger pattern is that I just use up all my fingers. I'll start with like 1, 3, 4, and then I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if I do two octaves worth, it will end up as a 3rd finger at the top. So watch this. Now, I've got the same notes, and then I go up here to 4th position. 1, 2, 4. Now from here, I just do 1, 2, 3 because my pinky isn't quite as long at this angle. So it's a 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. Now this is the 2nd octave, or the first, the middle octave. And then 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1. Who wants to try it? Raise your hand. Yeah, okay, we got some takers. All right, this is great. So let's all start on this D. Yeah, it's the low one. And now let's go to E, 3rd finger. F, 4th finger. Now we're doing all the same notes as D minor, but 2 octaves. 1st finger G, stretched E, 2nd finger. C sharp, or B natural, 4th finger. Sharp 1. Now my thumb is going to be right over here on the fingerboard. I'm in a thumb position. 2. Here's my D, and it's a D, and it's a 2. Nice work, everybody. Now, there we go. E, F, G2, A3. Now we're in our last octave. You're doing great. B1, C sharp, and D. And if you're doing it right, you're going to be playing a note kind of like this. Keep going higher. Just slide up until you get it. Oh, good job, Ayla. Nice job, everybody. Now let's come back down. D, C, B flat. Yeah, good. A, 3rd finger. B, G2. F1. D2, C natural 1. Yeah, good. B flat. A, G, 1, F4, and E2, 3, and D1. Good. So I'm going to show you one other thing. You notice how a lot of instruments actually have like notes that you can hit, like fingering, different kinds of. On cello, we just have a big black stick. But you'll notice on something like a bass guitar, we have frets over each of these. And yesterday, if you were in the class, you saw a viola da gamba with frets. And frets have always existed. And frets on guitars, in this case, a bass guitar. So each one of these notes is a half step, okay? And then this one, but these notes only go about 2 octaves. Our fingerboard on a cello goes a little bit further up on here, so we can get a little bit more. We have more available on our on our cellos than we have even on this relatively nice bass guitar. But as you can see, like, you can think of the cello fingerboard as having these frets on them of little half-step demarcations that get you places. And those of you who are beginning may have, for instance, tapes on, and you can keep tapes on forever. In fact, sometimes when I have a really hard passage and I'm missing like the note, I'll put a little pencil mark on my fingerboard, and that way I can actually see like, ah, it needs to be here. And that does more or less the same thing as a fret, okay? All right, so let me put this thing away. But it's the, you know, like with this, you can just sort of look down and say like, oh, that's gonna be a C. Oh, this is going to be a G, you know, and you can just take a look at those kinds of notes and look around on that. So actually, no, that's a D. This is a G. Yeah, this is a G. Of course, right? So now we're gonna head back over to cello. And what I would like everybody to do is let's take into account that slide and let's do a vibrato. And we're gonna slide all the way up. On the C string. And we're gonna do a vibrato like that. So first off, maybe like an open string, and we're just sort of like getting the motion ready. Then we're gonna put a finger down. Let's put down first finger. Yeah. Yep, you can go anywhere you want, but I want you to really feel comfortable with like that movement, because many of you are saying like, thinking like, if I only had vibrato, I would be an excellent cellist. That's not exactly true, but it does do this in that it loosens up your arm, and it'll force your fingers to sort of curl oftentimes the right way in order to get the right movement. Just remember that it's your arm that does the work on this, okay? And that your wrist is kind of like, yeah, it's just sort of getting the fingers to the fingerboard, okay? And so just imagine your arm doing this, okay? Have this in your mind the entire time, like, hey, little sister, I need to use the bathroom, or whatever, or, you know, like, hey, let me in. I've been locked out of the house during quarantine. Whatever it is that is, you know, your kind of funny little funny little thing. And then the arm goes up like this and around, okay? So whenever I play a note, I can have no vibrato. I can have a slow, wide vibrato. Now it looks like the wrist is doing the work, but in actuality, my hand is pulling everything around. My arm is pulling the hand around, and there's a little bit of amplification, like wave motion, like waves crashing on the beach. And here's the wave, okay? And that's what makes a good vibrato. And actually, the finger does slide on the fingerboard, okay? Which is something you can't really do with a fret. Okay, so who has done some improvisation? Who has made up a song? Well, since we've been together.
I've made one up on the guitar.
Ooh, on guitar. Great. Let's see here. How does it go? Can you do it on the cello, the song that you made up on guitar?
Probably not.
How does it go?
Well, I kind of did the beginning, and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's, I just started it, so it's not very good, but.
Were you plucking on the guitar?
Yeah.
Can you pluck some of the same notes on the cello? Does it work the same way?
No, I don't think so.
Were you strumming chords? Just single notes?
Yeah.
How do those single notes go?
Not. Don't really know. Like.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. Like, if I were to sing, actually, will someone sing a melody to me? Just anything. Just raise your hand and sing something. Your microphone will pick up. And I'd kind of like to see some, like any kind of song. It could be a song that you know. It could be a song that you just made up. Go ahead. What's a popular song going on right now? Anybody listening to stuff? Nothing special? Okay, well, yeah, I mean, like, the sky's the limit as far as songs. Oh, here's something. So, have any of you heard this song?
Yeah.
Have any of you heard that song before?
Yeah.
It's by Beethoven. It's his Fifth Symphony. And what he does is he just sort of takes that and puts it a whole bunch of different places. So, like, he starts on G and goes to E flat. And then he answers it and he goes F to D. But you could put it anywhere. Check this out. I'm just going to start on B. Or call out a note name, and I'll play it on that. Go ahead. There are only 7. Come on, give me tell me a note name.
E.
E. Okay, so I'm going to start on E. Okay, so I want to do the same thing, and I got to figure out. Oh, it's got to be the long stretch, right? And then it's going to go up like a step. So there, I started on E. How about low E? Uh-oh, I don't have that note, right? So maybe I'll change it. No, that's not right. That's kind of right? But I changed the octave on the B, on that note B, because I don't have a low B over here. Right? Give me another note, any note.
D.
D, okay, here we go. Oh, I need to go down a major third from D. It's going to be a B flat. And then C. Okay, now here's the deal, is that when Beethoven wrote this, he's a real person, and he's not any better than, he still put pants on just like all of us, and he still wore shoes, and he still ate food, He's just kind of a normal person who practiced a lot and worked really hard. And he spent a lot of time just like, well, does it work over here? 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 And it's like a lot of time just sort of exploring the ideas, okay? So will you all make up a song over the weekend, and then we'll talk on Monday, okay? Will you? All right, everybody. Here's my cello wave. Try that out. Bye, everybody. Bye. Have a good one. I'll post it up. Ciao.
Thank you.